Welcome back to another episode of Bearcat Chats, and a pleasure to be joined by Brittany Korsah, the president of Student Athletes of Color for Success, Tyler Shepard, who's the vice president, and Jesse Fuca, an assistant coach with the Binghamton University track and field team, and I guess an informal advisor consultant. He's been a focal member of getting this club off the ground. To all three of you, thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sure. Brittany, let's start with you. I'm really impressed, not just in the development of the idea for the club, but the amount of time and care you took to really build a solid foundation where it can be successful long term. How did you go about doing that?
So it took a lot of who I would go to for help. I definitely needed a lot of help. I didn't know who I would go to talk about this. So I had a discussion with a former track and field athlete who used to be on the team. I brought it up to her because I felt like she would be a perfect person to talk to about it. And so she helped a lot. She had experience with other clubs. And so we just started drafting how we can get this club going. It was about a year ago. So last October, we started talking about this. And yeah, she really helped a lot making this happen. So it definitely was a little difficult, but we got a lot of support from it. So yeah.
Was that Janelle Williams?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. No, we'll give Janelle some love, and we'll get to the alumni element of this, which I think is great in a moment. Tyler, for you, when we talked last week, you said after your freshman year, you were sort of looking, and now you're a junior, Brittany's a senior, and you were looking for a way to really make an impact. How did this fit into that goal?
Yeah, so like I said before, my freshman year, like everybody comes in, it's freshman year, everyone's happy, it's college, it's a whole new experience. But then I feel like sophomore year, a lot of people start to think like, who am I really? And what do I really want to get besides just an education and, do well on the track team? And I came from a really diverse high school. So I had everybody around me. And then to jump into Binghamton, where it wasn't the same case, I was like, I need to find me here at Binghamton. And it was hard at first. So I used to talk to Jesse about it all the time. And, he had said that this is not a new problem. This is something that a lot of people have expressed to him. And that was the real catalyst into after talking to him and hearing that, there's a possibility of something like this starting, that was a real catalyst in my mind, this could be your opportunity to be more than just an athlete.
And Jesse, that's the perfect segue. You were sort of the glue, having all these separate conversations. How did you help guide Brittany and Tyler and everyone else to come together?
So honestly, I credit them more than anything, just for being willing to have these conversations with me. I'm, as a coach, I'm always checking in on my athletes and everything. And, I tell them all the time, I say, happy athletes compete well. So, I'm always making sure that things are going well off the track and stuff like that. And, Brittany, Janelle, and Latoya Shand, we had like a 2-hour conversation, probably was it, Britt, after the weight room one day last year, where, they really just shared a lot with me about their experiences as Black women at Binghamton and, what their experiences were and what this university kind of meant to them, why they chose it, and where they were supported and not supported since they came here. So the biggest message that I had to them was that the, significance of them talking to me about that wasn't lost on me, and that, I really appreciated them being candid and being honest. And I always preach to my athletes too about just being authentic and, trying to find your identity and really be who you are. So this club definitely fit with all of my values and, just trying to be there to support my athletes and make sure that, they feel like there's a place for them on campus. So, again, the credit definitely goes to them for having the idea. having the willingness and openness to talk with me about it. And, Tyler definitely was a huge aspect of it. Brittany was a huge aspect of it. And just being able to kind of piece things together and connect them was huge.
Brittany, now that the club is off the ground and really like the rollout on Instagram and a great article for those that haven't seen it on the BU Bearcats website, what are the goals? What do you do to, what are the things you want to put into action?
So not only do we want it to be like a safe space for all of us to be in, but like we definitely want it to help us like gain opportunities in the future and create like alumni networks for everyone. And honestly, like we're looking to like work with other people in the community. Like we're looking to work with Binghamton High School. There's a lot of people that have been reaching out to me. There's like an organization called Athletes for Charity, where they work with, they team up with like pro athletes, student athletes, and so I can help to like benefit unprivileged like youth. So we have like a lot of like events that we're thinking of doing and just helping the community and stuff. So yeah.
Picking up off that point, Brittany, Tyler, it's really cool. I think the way you guys want to make a difference both ways, bringing in alumni and paying it forward to high school students and folks in the community. What excites you most about that?
Both aspects really excite me the most. Definitely giving back to the community is the first thing. We here at Binghamton, I feel like there's a lot of minorities around in Binghamton that I don't think the university necessarily directs their resources to, that they could help, create like a bridge to help these kids that need the extra like financial help or just an opportunity to come to a school like Binghamton. I don't think there's really any ties right there. So to start that from now, even within our group, could help bring a lot of BIPOC, not even just student athletes, but just students here to Bing to raise numbers. And then the part or the aspect with the alumni, like I said, like I said, it's been said before, there's not a lot of our experience is unique here to Binghamton, not even just as a student athlete, but just as a Black person in general. So to get in touch with other Black athletes or even just Black alumni that came from this school, get help form connections with and get us into a better spot, and also help them give back, because I know they kind of want to, but it's hard, especially in this climate, especially with what happened in, over the summer and everything like that. Like everybody wants to give back now and make sure that that we're all doing the right thing. And I think that both aspects help us in doing so.
Tyler, you were involved or are involved with the Black Student Union as well. I know you were even thinking of going onto their executive board before you got involved with this. How do you see these two organizations potentially working together?
So yeah, I was looking to get onto the e-board and I actually got the position, and I can see us working together, especially with the minority communities here in Binghamton. They do a lot of programming between U-turn, trying to break that high school to prison pipeline in minority areas. They have a youth program. They have even a program where they go to the local to a prison in Ithaca, and then talk to some of the inmates. And with that programming, we would collab with them, in order to get ourselves off the ground, get us some traction to help people come in, and then also for them to start to mingle with athletes, because believe it or not, the athlete and non-athlete lifestyle is very, very separate here. So they don't even know what happens in athletics, nor did I know what really happens being a non-athlete, in a lot of these areas. So that could also bridge the disconnection right there. And then, you have the Black athletes and then the Black non-athletes. That just, there's power in numbers right there. Put them both together, what can we not do?
Jesse, the athlete experience as both obviously being on the track and field team and being an alum. What are you thinking as you're hearing Brittany and Tyler talk about the potential of the club?
I'm just really excited for it. I mean, obviously being an alum of the university, I have a lot of pride in the program, and I had a great student athlete experience here myself. But the stories that I heard from Tyler and from Brittany and from the other ladies that spoke with me last year really just echo the sentiments of a lot of the teammates that I had and people that I ran with, and things that, like Tyler said, it was nothing necessarily new to me. It wasn't a surprise to me. It was just more so the fact that they were willing to talk to me about this stuff that sparked all of this. So, I've definitely seen and heard enough to want to support this and really just kind of look towards the future of how we can benefit our student athletes of color that need that extra support and need a community and need to be involved with something that can help them with their identity and help their own community in this university and again within the greater Binghamton community as well. So excitement is definitely the key word for me.
Brittany, what's been the response and how have you gone about expanding the club to, obviously you guys are track and field athletes, and you have some other sports involved, but where do you go in terms of speaking with other teams?
The support has been definitely great. Like a lot of people have been supportive. Other coaches from other teams have been like being so helpful and just wanting to be there and even wanting to be like a part of like our club and when we have meetings and stuff. So the support has really been there, and I'm really happy that we had gotten all the support from all the coaches, because definitely reaching out to like the other student athletes is kind of hard. So they've been very beneficial with that. And I'm just happy that we get to speak to all the other student athletes, because sometimes like our schedules and stuff, like it's hard to see everyone. So I'm happy that we get to have this club so I can meet everyone and just everyone can just be together and get to know each other. So.
And so if people want to get involved, Brittany, and they may be learning about the club for the first time, how can they reach out and express interest?
So definitely through our Instagram, we've been making that like our priority, make sure that we get out there, because social media is definitely powerful and that could really help. And also we have been we have a group me, so we've been trying to reach out to people and getting people to add other people in the group me and stuff. And definitely we're starting to like work on making like newsletters and stuff to get it out there. So that's really what we've been doing to get the word out to other people.
And Tyler, you mentioned in that athletics article that you're going to have serious current event discussions a couple of times a month and lighter things like a game night. To the current event piece, what do you see that looking like?
I see that looking like more of a discussion, because everything, news comes and goes, and especially being student athletes, we don't have a very like forgiving schedule. There's a lot of things, and having different athletes on different clubs, everyone's on their own schedule. So it would just be a discussion. We would have a topic about the biggest thing that's going on, but honestly, a list of topics that our e-board would come up with as news comes and goes, just to talk about see everyone's different thoughts on it, and learn from and see how we can do better as Black people in our community.
Well, Brittany, Tyler, Jesse, we're all excited and can't wait to see where the club's going, and only wishing you continued success, as this is like the big kickoff. So look forward to talking with you down the road, and keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.